Hello everyone, it's Creepy Knee and Tina.
Hi.
Welcome to the channel. Hope everybody's just having a wonderful day and that your day is going great as ours and that you're in the best of health.
Yes, with health being most important. We recently had an incident that was brought to our attention, brought about a little bit of conversation, so we said, hey, let's bring it to the viewers and let's let them know, because as always, we always try to be transparent with everything that happens out here in the Dominican Republic. Yeah. So as you guys know, if you follow the channel, we always say all information is underneath the videos at the end of all of our videos. And one of those is a real estate agency that we advise people and point people towards when they're looking for properties, not just in Santiago, but all over the DR. So we also had that same agent, well, owner, I should say, sorry, owner of the real estate agency, reach out to us and tell us about an incident with an owner for a property that was for rent here in Santiago, which is why they asked us our opinions or if this had happened to us. So I'm going to kind of preface some of the actual conversation that we had via WhatsApp. And it was that the agent that he employs here in Santiago had sent him a screenshot between this agent that he employs and an owner of an apartment in Santiago. So the agent had a client of African American descent,
Just like me.
that was applying for a rental property here in Santiago. Okay. The owner of said rental asked the agent if the renter was from North American, asked if it was a Norte Americano. And the agent told him, sí, yes. The owner then asked, but is the renter Afro-Americano, African American? And the agent said, yes, sí.
Again, like me.
So it was just a quick yeah. So, because I don't think the agent really, like none of us would expect that would matter. And then the owner said, then the property does not accept negros. So let's start with that. Everybody thinks that that means Negroes or the other N word, and it definitely does not. Negro in Spanish refers to the color black, like the shirt I'm wearing. It's different than how we would say it in the US, but it's spelled how you would say Negro. Negro looks like that. In Spanish, it looks like Negro, but it's negro, it's black, right? So it's no different than how you would, like I said, the way I would say it is, say if I wanted to differentiate three guys in a room, and I just walked into the room and I'm talking to you, but I don't know either three of those guys. And one happens to be white, one happens to be black, and one happens to be, like, let's say Asian. I would say, I'm talking about the blanquito or the blanco, meaning the white guy. I'm talking about el negro or el negrito, the black guy, because ito on it, like I said, means like young man or young person or little. So I said, or I'd be talking about the Asian, and then I'd say asiático. So that would be the word to tell you which one I'm speaking of if we're speaking in Spanish. Now, I know that there's still, a lot of biased behavior on the part of this owner, but I'm just kind of trying to preface it, because a lot of times, like, we're out and they're trying to get my attention if I'm in line, and they'll say rubia to me. And I know they're talking to me because I'm the only, like, rubia, blonde, standing around, and they don't want to call me, like, American or anything like that. So they'll call me rubia, they'll call me blanquita, they'll call me things to know that they're speaking to me and not the five other girls that are in the line, because the five girls that are Dominican are obviously darker or have darker hair color. So I'm the rubia, all the blondes are going to turn and see, well, what do you want? Right. It's just like I told you, like white or really light-skinned Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, they're called like blanco, blanca, blanquita, blanquito, the rubia, rubio. They use that for like the really white, like light-skinned Latins. And then that's how it's always been done. And then like the darker Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, like I have an uncle, and everybody assumes he's black. You met him.
Well, I met him before, sure did.
Uncle Rudy. And when he opens his mouth, he has the thickest Spanish accent ever in the world. He's Puerto Rican, 100% uncut. He sings salsa music, for God's sakes. Right. But they always used to call my uncle, when he would sing, hey, el negro, right? But he knew that they were talking to him. He didn't take offense to it. He knows he's dark-skinned, so it was just a thing. So I think that, like, to Hispanics sometimes, not to defend this owner, because this owner, obviously, we'll get to that later, was not wanting to rent to an African-American for whatever his reasons are. But we really do Latins use descriptive words. It's like if you see a kind of heavyset guy or a skinny guy, you call the heavyset guy, he'll grow up his whole life and they'll call him like, hey, el gordo or gordito. We have the place that we used to eat at the barbecue, remember? And that was called gordo prieto, because that means the fat guy, the black guy. Well, that's the word for, heavy set and black, and that's what the place is called, because that was probably that guy's nickname his whole life. It's just like a little skinny guy. All little skinny guys, you go, mira flaco, flaquito. Y'all Latins know what I'm talking about. You got that one cousin that they call Flaco, and you really thought that was his name until you got older and found out his name was Ruben. It's what we do. We for some reason, I don't know, we all use very descriptive words. So the big question was, have we heard of this happening in Santiago prior to this January 4th that this owner came and told me that this is just what happened? And the answer is simple. It's absolutely not. Nope.
Right.
I haven't.
For the most part, all properties that we looked at, and the owners and the people that was representing that property, we never had a problem. We just walked in there, we looked around. Quite a few properties we looked at.
Yeah, we looked at 5 properties with 2 different real estate agents the first time. That was like over 2 years ago. And we the owners were there while we were showing the property, and the owners had conversations with us, and it was 2 older Dominican ladies that owned the property or were at least there in representation of that property. And spoke to both of us. They talked to us why we were coming. Remember, what are you doing in the Dominican? Why are you here? And we were like, oh, we're retiring, blah, blah, blah. Oh, really? Where are you from? That's what everybody always wants to know more than anything.
Yeah, where are you from?
Did you feel uncomfortable ever? Like somebody was looking at you because of the color of your skin?
I didn't feel comfortable at all. I didn't feel uncomfortable at all. It was just a business transaction. We went in there, we looked at the property, we looked around, and it was no discrimination.
Right.
We just had a good experience. And, money talks. The rest of it.
Yes, and that's what I was about to say. And I would like to say that those 5 properties that we looked at was all in Los Jardines. So Los Jardines, if you guys are familiar with the neighborhoods here, it's a very older and very well-respected neighborhood. And basically, people of a certain type of means reside there. So it's not like your typical, I'm going to get an apartment for $100 or $200 a month. You're not in Los Jardines. So if anybody, I think, would tend to be snobby or particular about who they would put into their buildings, I would think that type of place was. And we went to 5 different places and we had no problem. No problems
at all.
And so we chose our place, but then we moved out here and moved into the first place in Los Jardines and then started looking all around. So then we widened our view. We wanted to stay close to that, but we still looked, I think, pretty wide. And then we started looking in Gurabo. We started looking in Villa Olga. We went to Cerros de Gurabo. So then we saw another additional 4 properties with 2 other agents, a male and female agent. And we met an owner that's actually our landlord now, and it's a male. So first time we talked to 2 females, now we are sitting with a male. And the male Dominican talked to both of us, and did you feel like he cared?
I feel like, you know what, we just had a conversation, and it's all about business, but I'm thinking this situation here, we don't have all the details, but something had to transpire for us to get to this point.
Yeah. So the next question was, do you believe that it happened? Absolutely.
Yeah.
No place is discrimination free.
Free or proof.
Yeah, I don't think it's as relevant as it is in the U.S., but does it happen? Yes, because there's a host of reasons, like a prior experience that somebody might have had with an expat renter.
Absolutely.
You know, it could be an experience that they had when they lived in the States, because remember, a lot of people come back and forth from the Dominican and the States. They send their kids for education reasons. They send them, you know, to go live with relatives. They want to check out the U.S. and then they end up here, and then they've gotten their education. They're making good money, and then they buy properties. So it happens. Like, who knows what this person? I don't know this owner, so I don't know if that's what it was, or if that they had a prior really bad experience with expat renters. Or was it the climate of the building? It couldn't have been, maybe it was not the owner, let's just say, because we don't know, devil's advocate.
Right.
Because most of these buildings, like the building we live in, has like an HOA, and you're living with people that may not want an expat of African American descent in that building, and they have told the owners that they know rent, saying, hey, we don't want it. They may say no to blacks, but let me tell you, they also have that prejudice towards Haitians.
Right.
They even have them towards some Europeans, Americans, shoot, even Puerto Rican clientele, because Puerto Ricans and Dominicans sometimes in the States are on one side of the block, like in New York, and they might not get along.
But don't forget about the Cubans too.
Yeah. But we can't, that's the thing, you can't account for a person's limited view.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Of people of other racial, even gender, or countries of residencies, prejudices. If they're going to be prejudiced, they're going to be prejudiced. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Does it happen all the time? Well, we just showed you that we looked at 5 and 4, so 9 incidents with us that it did not happen. So there's that.
It was just a very, very rare situation that we heard, and I was kind of shocked to even hear something like this actually occurred on the island, especially in the city of Santiago.
Yeah, I don't know the neighborhood in Santiago, because I didn't even bother to ask. I thought about it later, and I was like, I probably should have asked what neighborhood it was. So I don't know what neighborhood it was, but I will say this, that it's no different than the U.S. So the next question is, now, should you not move or rent as a person of color in Santiago or the Dominican Republic as a whole? Because you always get these people. We get them on the channel in the comments all the time saying, oh, they're all prejudiced, they hate black people, why would I move out there?
Right.
And so I would say, first of all, you don't let one negative experience change the course towards your future. Because that could be savings you're missing out on, fun, relaxation, all the things that come with living abroad. If you let one incident happening to somebody else that you heard about, deter you, then you're not going to move anywhere, because every place has an incident.
Absolutely.
It could have been an incident of theft, an incident of, prejudice. It could be anything. So I would say, first of all, that you wouldn't do that. My second one would be, then, why do you live in the USA? Because to me, that's the biggest offender right now.
Oh, yeah, you better believe it.
Or historically of
of discrimination.
Minorities, yes.
You better believe it,
yes,
all day long.
Black and Latin.
You better believe
trying
it.
to put us out. Yes, so I'll tell you all the time, we live in constant fear for our son Noah, because Noah is over 6 feet tall. And I always say, I said, he could be the most educated, the most spoken. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have a violent bone in his body, but it just takes that one cop or whoever to think that he looks menacing because he's a big black young male. Right. And then we would hear that something happened, that he was involved in an altercation, or, he was walking towards by somebody's property, he was visiting a friend. We live in that fear all the time, and that's the USA. Right. I've never felt like that with you being here in the Dominican.
Right, and I never experienced anything like that as far as living here. And we have a lot of people, a lot of influential people that's in the States that are moving here, police officers, and people from all different backgrounds from all over the United States and the world too as well.
I mean, prejudice has been around our whole lives. Let's be real.
Right.
It didn't just pop up overnight. It has been here our entire lives, our parents' lives, our grandparents' lives. And although I'd love to say that we will finally see the day, right? The end of the rainbow for our children and grandchildren, where prejudice wouldn't even be a thing anymore. I am also a realist, and I know that in my lifetime, I'm probably not going to see it. You know, do I hope it comes? Yes, and soon, please. But I don't think that, you know, I will, because it's just a fact of life. You know, look at the regime that just got out of office and putting children into detention camps and everything away from their parents. Like, there's no end to it. So what does all that have to do with this situation? It's taught that only we can let life, people, and situations hold us back.
Right.
That's it. Remember, and I'm going to read an old Cherokee story because I love this, and you probably heard it, but different versions of it. And it said, one evening, an old Cherokee told his grandson about a battle that goes on in the inside of people. He said, "My son, the battle is between two wolves that live inside of us." He said, "One is evil. It's anger, jealousy, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego." He said, "The other is good. It's your joy, love, peace, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith." And then the grandson thought about it for a minute, and then he asked his grandfather, "Well, which wolf wins?" And the grandfather looks at him and said, "It's simple. The one you feed."
Right. That's a good little story. I like that. Because if you feed into the foolishness will come to you.
Yes.
So basically, we have a lot of people that's already living on the island. Some people the same color I am, they're living here way longer than me.
Yeah.
And it's just you're amongst the community, and as long as you're respectful, you live like a king here. I'm telling you. You get more respect. I've gotten really more respect here than I got back in the box. And I really mean that.
Yeah.
More respect. Because you know what? My money spent is just as good as anybody else's money. And this is a sad story. So we won't tell you that don't come here, don't come to Santiago, don't go to Puerto Plata, don't go to Punta Cana,
Go where
or whatever.
you want.
Go where you want to go and live your best life, because you're going to be living like a king when you get here.
Yeah.
King and queens live here on this island.
Yes. And we should always feed compassion for others, love, faith in our lives, because that's when you see it manifest in others.
So, in the meantime, between the time, always remember that life is to be enjoyed.
Yes. Make sure to hit subscribe, hit notifications. Always give this and all videos a thumbs up. It is the free and easy way to patron the channel. And remember, as always, all information is underneath every video.
So, until the next video, peace.